Hi there, so I think this is vlog number 8, if I'm not mistaken. It might be number 9, I'm not sure. And this is actually going to be the final vlog of this 12-week manifestation experiment that I've been going through. So if you haven't been following the videos, go and have a look under. There's a playlist for these manifestation experiment videos. Go and have a look and see how, excuse me, it's been going for me. It's been really interesting. And I'll tell you why in a second. Because so I've been at this manifesting stuff, and I've been coaching, and I've been doing health coaching, manifestation coaching, all that kind of thing for the past since 2011. So what's that, like 12 years, coming up for 13 years. And it's been interesting because even though I've been doing this stuff for a really long time, and I've actually been practicing the law of attraction since 2009. That's when I first discovered it. I first watched The Secret, like everybody else, usually how they get into it, or how they did back then anyway. And I've been really on this manifestation journey since then. And even though I've been doing it for that long, this 12-week experiment has been super interesting. I've made a couple of notes, so forgive me if I look down at my notes while I'm talking. So what did I manifest in the last 12 weeks? Well, a little bit of money. So I've actually won the lottery. I've won small amounts of money on the lottery 6 times, I think, in the last 12 weeks, so 3 months. One of them was the Saturday just gone. Got the notification email on Monday. So that's been really interesting because that's never happened to me before. It's only been small amounts. I think the most amount was something like 18 euros or something. It wasn't really a lot, but it was fairly regular in a 12-week period, which has never happened to me before. So that was super interesting. Even though it's small bits and it is a win, it is a gain. I have manifested a lot more time to myself. So I do have a day job at the moment. The reason for that being that when was it? It was actually almost a year ago now. A friend asked me to help out in her new business, and I said, yeah, I'll help out a couple of weekends. She's opened herself a pub, and her and I'd worked together in the past. So I said, yeah, I'll do a few weekends for you, no problem. And that's kind of turned into a proper job, a part-time job, but it's a job. So. And some of that had been taking up quite a lot of my time, and one of the things I wanted to manifest was more time, and I did that. I manifested big chunks of time in between when I'm required to work, so that's really, really good. I've also manifested just a more even positive mindset. So I have to admit that about a year ago, I was not in a good place mental health wise. I wasn't feeling very well. I wasn't feeling very inspired. I was a bit burnt out, to be honest. I had manifestation burnout because when you get to a point, it's kind of like the more you know, the more difficult it gets, because you become very hyper aware of how you're feeling all the time, and how some negative feelings can help to block manifestations, because that's pretty much how it works, doesn't it? If you put more focus on the negative, then it blocks the manifestations, more focus on the positive, and it allows them through. And I got to a point where I was just trying too hard. So actually, the offer of working in my friend's pub came at exactly the right time, which is interesting, isn't it, in itself, that, I'd got to a point where I needed to ease off the whole coaching manifestation thing for a while. And what happened? A job popped up that could take its place for a while. That is in the way I'm feeling right now. That's run its course, and I would like to actually end that job. I'm not going to at the moment because my friend needs me at the moment, and she's still building things up. Different story. But it was there when I needed it. It was there exactly when I needed it, and it was exactly what I needed at the time. In itself a manifestation, even though I was kind of burnt out. What I've really, really noticed was, and this actually didn't happen until the end of last week, end of last week, and that is, so I was laying in bed on, I think it was Friday last week, might have been the weekend, not sure. And I'm just lying, I've got my vision board up above my bed, so that when I'm lying in bed, I can just stare up at it, as I'm going to sleep, or when I wake up in the morning. Great way to wake up, great way to go to sleep. And on my vision board are just there's pictures of things that I really love, things that I really like to do. There is a place that I would really like to buy a house in. And I'm not limiting myself to a small house. I put the exact house that I want. And I was just looking at my vision board, and it suddenly there's two things that occurred to me. The first thing was, I really already have everything that I could possibly ever need. And not in a kind of resigned way, as in, oh, it's never going to happen. It was really in the way of accepting that I'm absolutely, completely content with everything that's around me. I've got a great house, I've got a great relationship, I've got money in the bank, I've got things happening, I've got plans, I've got inspiration, I've got everything I need. And it was just this utter feeling of contentment that came over me. And that was really, really good. It was a very definite feeling of contentment, and a very definite positive feeling, rather than a feeling of resignation. Because it could be, you could kind of imagine that you would look at something like a vision board where it's got all this wonderful stuff that you want, and you look at it and think, oh, I'm never going to get that, and then you're resigned to what's going on in your life. But it wasn't that at all. It was complete opposite. It was absolutely positive acceptance that I have everything that I need, and knowing that it's that positive acceptance which is what is actually going to allow more stuff to materialize. That was one thing I experienced looking at that vision board. The next thing was, almost immediately after, as soon as I'd felt that, I had this download of ideas of things that I could do. Now, I've got an Etsy shop that I'm just starting to build up. It's only got a few products in it at the moment. Designing does take a little bit of time, so trying to juggle everything with the whole coaching and the working in the pub and doing that, it's kind of, I'm having to plan my time very carefully, and I'm not pushing myself. That's a big thing. I'm not working hard. I'm just managing my time effectively and efficiently. But what I did get was this download of ideas. And I immediately, I didn't have a pen and paper, so I put a note on my phone so that I didn't forget them, because I am prone to doing that as well. I put them down, and they just felt like perfect ideas. And I tell you why. I'll let you into why they are those perfect ideas. Now, they are ideas on how to generate passive income based on my skills and experience, which is wide and far reaching. Now, one thing that I don't want to do, because I've done it for a really long time, is I don't do one-to-one coaching anymore. And the reason for that is it's if you're any kind of empath, you'll know that one-to-one coaching takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot of your energy, because you tend to take on the feelings and emotions of the people that you're talking to. And I did that for a really long time. For whatever reason, I do tend to attract people into my coaching business, or I did tend to attract people who had a very extreme, nasty, traumatic backgrounds. And although I was really helping them, it didn't feel like it was my life's mission to be doing that, because it didn't make me feel good doing that. I did help people, and helping people is good and being of service, but it was draining my energy too much as well. So I know that I don't want to work one-to-one with people. So the download that I got was one of the best ideas I've had of how to put my skills and experience and knowledge across to as many people as possible, but without having to have that one-to-one interaction that a lot of coaches rely on. You see really often on social media and on YouTube and on Instagram that, how to get more clients, how to get more coaching clients, fill up your calendar. And the thought of that it fills me full of fear. Excuse me. Because the thought of having to interact with more than 5 people in one day, one-to-one, is just something that I know would drain my energy completely. And a lot of manifestation gurus and coaches might actually say, well, you have to learn to put up your boundaries. Believe me, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I just accept that that's not the way for me to go. So that was really great. So at the vision board, contentment, and then got these really fantastic ideas. So do follow along, like and subscribe if you want to know what those ideas are as soon as I get them out into the wider world. Another thing that I manifested was productivity. So my productivity is really on point at the moment. I've been using that, you've probably seen a lot of it online, where you block out time to do certain tasks. So rather than actually writing a to-do list every day, I've just got an hour of this, and then a 15-minute break, and an hour of this, and a 15-minute break, and an hour of this. So productivity is really at a high, which is something that hasn't been occurring for a really long time. So that's been really great. I actually manifested a pay rise from the pub as well. Not quite sure why. I think my friend, who's also my boss in the pub, really appreciates the dedication that I put into the job. I know it's just a pub job, but it's just the two of us, or it has been just the two of us for a long time. And I've put my passion into it because it's her passion as well. So I think that's a really good example of, when you put in the passion with positivity, then it's going to be rewarded in some way. So that was really good. Manifested that pay rise. An interesting thing that happened it was again Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday night was the worst point. So where I live, we had, you might have seen it on the news, we had massive storms over the weekend. So that was the second to last weekend in October. Now I live on the east coast of Germany, so we got really massively hit by these storms. I know Scotland east coast did as well, and some parts of Denmark. Thankfully I'm quite high ground, so we weren't affected by flooding, but friends of ours were, their business has been absolutely devastated. But in our own personal experience, the wind was so strong that it basically completely wrecked our garden fence. So we've got like a little patio with a fence around it. That's all pretty much almost gone because it just looked like a truck had run into it. And what happened was, I wasn't really too bothered about it. It's opened up the space, so now it's not so much privacy from the neighbours, but that's okay. We know our neighbours, we're absolutely fine with that. And it actually gives us an opportunity to redesign the space. So obviously not over winter, because the weather's not very conducive to designing a garden in the middle of winter up here. But when we get around to springtime, we've now got this kind of almost blank canvas to work with. So we can redesign that space. And that's a real kind of, if I think back to a few years ago, I might have reacted very, very differently. Even before this experiment, I might have reacted very differently. I might have been, angry and frustrated and, basically reacted with negative emotion. But I kind of looked at it and thought, well, it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. And now I've got some, a space to manifest something better into anyway. So that was something that was really interesting to me because obviously part of this experiment is noticing things like that. And yeah, what now? So what's going to happen? I've been trying to consider whether to actually continue this experiment in terms of vlogging about it. I think I'm going to, because I find it just really interesting. And as I've been going along, 12 weeks, I know 12 weeks kind of seems like a long time, but unless you've actually got 12 weeks to really dedicate to this, nothing else, life just gets in the way in between, working, home life, friends, going out for dinner, whatever it might be. It all kind of gets in the way of the flow of the experiment. So I'm extending the experiment just in terms of I'm going to be talking about my progress through this manifestation journey, because a really key thing to remember is that manifestation journeys don't ever stop. There isn't ever a point where you get to in your life where you say, there's nothing more I want to manifest. Because what's the point? There's always something different that you would like to bring into your experience. There's always a new travel experience you'd like to go through. There's always perhaps a new car that you would like to try and manifest into your life. There might be a relationship, a friendship that you would like to manifest. If you're happy with the relationship you've got, there might be just a new hobby that you want to manifest into your life. It's all about, you know, once you get to the manifestation that you have desired for a while, or maybe not very long if you're really good at it, then there's always something next to want, something next to try and manifest. And that's the joy of it. It is a joyful journey that just unfolds in front of you the whole time. And if you can go on that journey joyfully, it's just going to be the best life ever. And things are going to happen that are going to come in the way. Things are going to happen that are going to make you feel perhaps negative along the way, but that's okay. Once you know that that is going to happen and you don't push it away and you just accept that negative things are going to happen, you can transform them really, really quickly. So I think this video is being posted, I've recorded it during the week, but this video is being posted on Saturday the 28th. That should be the day today, and I'm flying home to the UK on Monday the 30th. I'm going home to spend some time with my mum, and I'm gonna be putting up some stories about what I'm getting up to in the UK and how that's going, because that's actually going to be a proper holiday for me. It's a 10-day holiday. I'm not really going to be doing anything holiday like. I'm just visiting my mum and I'm looking after her neighbour's cats. But it's going to be some time to spend in my hometown and home area where I grew up, and just really have a really great time at home. So if you would like to see what I'm up to while I'm on holiday, come over and follow me on Instagram at Manifest with Phil, and I'm just going to be putting up daily stories about what I'm up to and what's going on, because the scenery down there is so beautiful. If you've never been to the southwest of England, you're going to want to follow it, because you're just going to be in for some spectacular scenery. It's just beautiful. Fingers crossed that it doesn't rain. It might do, but you know, you have the right kind of clothing and it doesn't really matter. So if you're interested in that, come over and follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, because if you do that, you're going to help this channel grow. And if we can get to more people, the more people we can get to, the better the world is going to be. The more people who know about the law of attraction and how to manifest dream lives, the better this planet is going to get. And that's what we all want. We want a better planet for everybody. That's my vlog for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back again with another video soon. So take care, and yeah, keep manifesting.